He was a millionaire. He had everything: cars, mansions, respect. Until, on the most important day of his life, his payment was refused in front of everyone. And then, a 10-year-old boy did something so unexpected, so incredible, that it completely transformed the businessman's life forever. This is the real story of how a small gesture can humble a giant's ego and rebuild it. Ricardo Mora adjusted the luxury watch on his wrist, a Swiss model that cost more than most people's cars in the city. He looked at his reflection in the mirrored glass of the elevator that was taking him up to the penthouse of the building where he lived. Everything was perfect: an impeccably tailored suit, styled hair, a beard trimmed at the most expensive salon in the region. After all, that night was not ordinary. That night would be a turning point. Ricardo was one of the most well-known businessmen in the southern region. At 42, he managed a chain of sophisticated restaurants distributed across shopping centers and commercial hubs. His name appeared in magazines, gala events, and social columns. But behind the glitz, there was a truth few knew. Ricardo lived in a self-built prison, a prison made of appearances, pride, and the constant fear of losing everything he flaunted. That night, he had a mission: to impress his foreign investors with an exclusive dinner. The deal he wanted to close could increase his net worth by millions, and Ricardo liked millions. He entered the private parking lot of the gourmet market where he would buy exclusive ingredients for the dinner: white truffles, rare cuts of lamb, imported olive oils, award-winning wines, all top of the line. He adjusted his jacket, took his chrome-plated aluminum shopping cart, and walked into the store with firm, confident steps, the steps of someone who believes the world revolves around them. As soon as he passed through the automatic door, the manager ran up to him. "Good evening, Mr. Mora," said the manager, almost bowing. "Always a pleasure to have you here. Can I help you with anything?" Ricardo gave a short, almost mechanical smile. "No, not today. I just need everything to be packaged properly. I have an important dinner." The manager nodded, smiling. Ricardo walked through the aisles, choosing the most expensive items. It was almost a ritual that fed his vanity. Upon reaching the checkout, he found a moderate line. He chose to wait. After all, he liked to display his unusual purchases. Many people in the line recognized him. He loved it. The cashier was a young, shy woman who seemed nervous to see him. "Good evening, sir, Ricardo Mora," she asked hesitantly. "That's me," he replied with an almost bored expression. She scanned the items: the truffles, the lamb, the 12,000 reais wine, the flowers, the extremely expensive chocolate. The total bill came to almost 7,800 reais. Nothing Ricardo wouldn't spend on a single dinner. He handed over his titanium card, the most exclusive in his collection. The cashier swiped the card. The machine processed and processed and processed until it stopped. The message on the screen made the young woman swallow hard. "Sir, the card was declined." Ricardo stood motionless for a few seconds. No, that could only be a technical error. "Try again," he ordered coldly, and she tried. Once, twice, 3 times. Declined, declined, declined. The people in line began to whisper. Ricardo felt a flush creep up his face, but he maintained his composure. He took out another card, then another and another. 5 cards, all declined. Humiliation descended like a cold blade. The line grew, the murmur increased. "Hey, isn't that the millionaire?" a man whispered in the back. "He must be bankrupt," said a woman. "Rich only online," scoffed another. Ricardo was paralyzed. He couldn't think. It seemed his brain had shut down. The cashier looked distressed. "Sir, do you want to cancel the purchase?" He felt that if he opened his mouth, his voice would fail him. so he just shook his head, trying to maintain the dignity commanded to every cell of his body. But it was at that very moment that something completely unexpected happened. A small hand touched his elbow. Ricardo looked down. It was a boy about 10 years old, wearing a simple t-shirt, worn-out shorts, and tattered flip-flops. His hair was messy, but his eyes were clear and bright, like someone who sees more than they should for their age. Beside him, a woman, probably his mother, held a plastic bag with a few items: rice, beans, eggs, and 2 packages of pasta, the bare essentials. "Sir," said the boy, with a soft but firm voice, "if you want, I can help." Silence enveloped everything. Even the air seemed to have stopped. Ricardo blinked a few times, not understanding. "What?" he asked, confused. The boy opened his hand. He showed 5 crumpled 2 reais notes, carefully kept. "I can help with this here," he said, offering the money. The entire line fell silent. The cashier put her hand to her mouth. The boy's mother turned red, embarrassed. "Lucas, don't do that," she whispered, pulling her son's arm. "That's none of our business." But the boy, named Lucas, remained motionless, firm, eyes fixed on Ricardo's. Ricardo felt his world crumble. He, who lived surrounded by businessmen, politicians, investors. He, who was pampered wherever he went. He, who had never received help that wasn't followed by a request, interest, or exchange, was there being rescued by a poor boy. A boy who clearly had very little, probably less than he had ever had. Ricardo swallowed hard. "Why would you do that?" he asked, almost whispering. Lucas shrugged. "You seemed sad," he replied simply. "And when someone is sad near me, I try to help, even if it's just a little bit." Ricardo felt a pang in his chest. Something inside him broke. His mother tried to apologize. "Forgive me, sir. He's just like that. Always wants to help. He saved this little bit of money doing small jobs in the building where we live. But don't worry, he doesn't understand." Ricardo interrupted, unable to contain his emotion. "He understands more than many adults I know." The boy held out the bills again. "You can take it, sir. It's no problem. We'll manage." Ricardo felt his eyes well up. And for the first time in decades, he couldn't hold back the tears. That scene, simple, unexpected, impossible, pierced his soul like a lightning bolt. The cashier discreetly wiped away a tear. The entire line was in absolute silence. Ricardo knelt to be at Lucas's height. "What's your name, champ?" "Lucas," the boy replied. "Lucas, you just did something no one has ever done for me. Something I will never forget." "It was just helping," the boy replied, shyly. Ricardo smiled. A genuine, unarmed, human smile. Something he couldn't remember the last time he had done. He returned the money to the boy. "You don't need to lend me anything. Just the fact that you offered is worth more than everything I bought today. Much more." His mother sighed with relief. "Thank goodness, he was determined to help," she said, smiling. Ricardo remained silent for a few seconds. Then he made a decision that would change his life and Lucas's forever. Ricardo looked back at Lucas, still kneeling on the floor of the gourmet market. The businessman's eyes, once always cold, calculated, distant, now shone with something that hadn't burned in him for a long time. The market manager, noticing the situation, discreetly approached. "Mr. Mora, can I help you?" Ricardo took a deep breath, slowly stood up, and faced the manager. "Yes, you can," he said, his voice calmer than he expected. "Cancel the entire purchase, please." The people in the line widened their eyes. The cashier was shocked. The manager, even more so. "Cancel everything, sir?" Ricardo nodded. "Everything. And Please, bring me just this. He picked up a simple chocolate bar, the cheapest on the shelf, the one that cost less than 5 reais. He held it out to Lucas. "This is for you," he said. "And this attitude you had here was the greatest gift I've received in many years." Lucas smiled shyly, holding the chocolate with both hands as if it were a trophy. His mother, Anna, tried to say something, but Ricardo raised his hand. "Please, let me thank you properly." Ricardo paid for the chocolate in silence, moving away from the cashier under the curious gazes of the line. In the back, some even applauded discreetly, something rare in such an elitist environment. As he left the market, the cold night wind hit Ricardo's face, as if trying to awaken him to something greater than his own humiliation. Lucas and Anna were a few steps behind, about to continue their way. Ricardo turned. Can I offer you a ride?" he asked, almost hesitating. Anna immediately shook her head. "No, sir, we appreciate it, but we live nearby. You don't need to." "Please," Ricardo insisted, without arrogance, without showing off. "I want to talk to you, that's all." The woman analyzed him carefully. There was no arrogance, no superiority. The man there seemed broken, different, genuine. "All right," she said finally, "but only to the square. Then we'll walk the rest of the way." Ricardo smiled. In the car, a German sedan that shone like new, Lucas looked at everything with admiration. "Mom, it looks like a spaceship," the boy said, sitting in the back seat. Anna smiled awkwardly. "Be quiet, Lucas. Don't bother the gentleman." "He's not bothering me," Ricardo replied. "By the way, Lucas, can I ask you a question?" "You can," the boy replied with enthusiasm. Ricardo took a deep breath. "Why did you offer me your money? 5 reais may seem little, but for a child, it's not." Lucas thought for a moment before answering. "Because you seem sad, and I've been sad like that too. When my father got sick, my mother cried a lot. And whenever we saw someone sad on the street, he used to say that a smile could save an entire day." Anna fell silent, looking out the window. Her eyes began to water. "Your father," Ricardo started. Lucas finished. "He died 2 years ago." Ricardo felt a tightening in his chest. "I'm so sorry, Lucas, truly." The boy shrugged. He said that even when he went to heaven, I had to be a good person. "Good people help good people," he used to say. Ricardo brought his hand to his mouth, pressing it. It was as if someone had struck a precise blow to the center of his pride. His entire life he had sought to be admired, but he had never sought to be good. When they arrived at the square, Anna thanked him politely. "Thank you for the ride, Mr. Mora, and I'm sorry again about Lucas." Ricardo opened the door and got out of the car with them. "Anna, allow me one thing," he said, his voice firm. "You too, you've helped me more than you can imagine. I would really like to reciprocate." She shook her head immediately. "No, sir, we don't want anything. Lucas didn't do that expecting anything in return." Lucas beside her nodded in agreement. "I just wanted to help, sir, that's all." Ricardo smiled. "Precisely for that reason, you deserve much more." Anna tried to refuse firmly, but Ricardo didn't insist. There was something very valuable there, dignity. He just said, "Can I at least visit you sometime? I'd like to get to know you better." Anna hesitated, but Lucas interjected. "You can come to our house, yes. Mom makes really good carrot cake," the boy said proudly. Anna blushed. "Lucas!" Ricardo laughed. "I'll accept the invitation." Anna sighed. "We live in Vale Azul Complex, Block 3. But please, don't bring anything. We are simple people." "I like simple people," Ricardo replied sincerely. "The world needs them." And then he did something he had never done. He knelt down and hugged the boy. Lucas returned the hug strongly, purely, and truly. Ricardo returned to the car with his heart beating slower, softer, as if everything he had always needed was finally finding its place. Upon arriving home, Ricardo received a call from his personal bank. "Mr. Mora, we are calling to inform you of a suspicious attempt to access your business account. We have preventively frozen your cards until we verify the origin of the access." Ricardo was stunned. "Suspicious attempt? From where?" "Internal access, sir, from someone with authorization in your company." Ricardo felt the ground shake. "Who, exactly?" The employee hesitated. "One of the secondary administrators, a man named Fernando Baroni." Ricardo fell into heavy silence. Fernando, his right-hand man, his friend of decades, his oldest partner. "Did he access the accounts?" Ricardo asked, his voice tense. "Yes, he tried to alter limits and transfer amounts. For security, we blocked all operations." Ricardo slowly hung up the phone. The dinner with investors was ruined. His public image about to collapse. And worse, he was betrayed by someone he considered family. But for a strange reason, he didn't feel alone. Lucas's offer echoed in his mind like a whisper. "When someone is sad near me, I try to help." Ricardo took a deep breath. "Tomorrow, I start from scratch," he murmured. But he still didn't know that Lucas and Ana were about to enter his life much more deeply. The next day, Ricardo drove to the Valle Azul complex. It was a simple, organized neighborhood, but clearly lacking resources. Narrow streets, peeling facades, children playing with makeshift balls. He parked in front of Block 3, where Lucas lived. As soon as he got out of the car, some people looked at him with curiosity. A car of that value, there? It was almost a surreal sight. He went up to apartment 204 and knocked on the door. Lucas opened it with a smile so big it didn't even fit on his face. "Sir, you really came." Ricardo smiled. "Of course I came." Ana appeared right behind him. "Mr. Mora, I didn't expect you. The house is untidy, I'm sorry." Ricardo felt almost offended. "Ana, your house is a home. It's beautiful just the way it is." Instead of luxury and sophistication, there was real happiness inside. A worn sofa, a small table, Lucas's drawings taped to the wall, a delicious smell of cake baking in the oven. Ana was embarrassed. "Lucas talked too much as always. Now I feel pressured to make a perfect cake." Ricardo laughed. "I'm sure it will be the best cake of my life." Lucas pulled his arm. "Sir, do you want to see my drawings? I like to draw people and buildings. When I grow up, I want to be an architect." Ricardo froze. "Architect?" Ricardo repeated, looking at Ana. She smiled awkwardly. "He always liked it. His father was a bricklayer and used to draw simple projects. Lucas inherited this love for building things." Ricardo swallowed hard. Could you show me your drawings?" he asked the boy. Lucas picked up a huge folder and opened it. Ricardo was speechless. There were simple blueprints, house sketches, colorful buildings, bridges, facades, and all with the precision he would never expect from a 10-year-old boy. It was pure talent, raw, rare. "Lucas," Ricardo said, emotional, "you are special, truly." Lucas smiled, not quite understanding the weight of those words. "Thank you, sir." Ricardo stood up and looked at Ana. "Ana, can I do something for you?" She sighed. "Mr. Mora, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, but we want nothing more than your friendship. And we don't want Lucas to grow up thinking he owes favors to anyone." Ricardo smiled. "Then let me do something that is not a favor. It's an investment." She frowned, confused. "What do you mean?" Ricardo said calmly, looking into her eyes. "Lucas is a diamond, and diamonds need to be polished. I want to fund his studies. I want to put him in a school that stimulates this incredible talent, not as charity, but because I believe in him." Ana turned pale. "That's too much. I can't accept." "You can," said Ricardo, "because I've never seen anyone with as much potential as your son. Lucas looked at his mother expectantly. "Mom, please." She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and finally gave in. "All right, but on one condition. I want to contribute in some way, even if it's by helping with something in your office." Ricardo extended his hand. "It's a deal." And in that simple, sincere human handshake, a bond was born that would change their lives forever. 3 days later, Ricardo received a summons. Fernando had made serious accusations against him. He accused him of accounting fraud, misappropriation, money laundering, diversion of funds, all completely fabricated, but devastating for his reputation. The newspapers ran headlines: "Businessman Ricardo Mora under investigation. Restaurant chain involved in scandal." In hours, contracts were canceled, partners cut ties, friends disappeared. It was rock bottom. And that night, alone, Ricardo received an unexpected message. It was from Lucas. "Sir, my mom said that when we're sad, it's because God wants to teach us something. Can we go there tomorrow?" Ricardo stared at his phone for minutes, and then, for the first time since everything had fallen apart, he smiled. The next day, Lucas and Anna arrived at Ricardo's apartment with a lunchbox wrapped in cloth. "We made simple food, but made with care," said Anna. Ricardo swallowed hard. "You have no idea how much I needed this." Lucas sat next to him on the sofa. "Sir, I don't understand much about these news reports, but I know how to tell when someone is good. And you are good." Anna added, "We are with you until the end." Ricardo felt his soul tremble. He hadn't lost everything. On the contrary, he was finally gaining something he never had: family. That night, when Lucas and Anna left the apartment, Ricardo stood by the door for several minutes. He felt strange, but in a good way. It was as if for the first time, his life was pointing towards something that made sense. Not luxury, not fame, not investors, not the magazine cover, but people, real people. He took a deep breath, wiped his eyes, and prepared for the storm of the next day. The next morning, he arrived at the police station accompanied by his lawyer. The interrogation room was cold and silent. The investigators opened folders and displayed documents that Fernando had sent. Ricardo heard, "Did you divert funds from your own company? Never. Did you approve fraudulent payments? Never. Are you involved in money laundering? Never." The investigator stared at him firmly. "Your partner claims everything was done with your authorization." Ricardo clenched his fist. "My partner betrayed me and is trying to destroy me." The lawyer beside him continued presenting evidence, demonstrating that many of the suspicious operations were carried out at times when Ricardo wasn't even in the country. Even so, the process would take time. The media didn't wait for proof. It waited for blood. And blood, at that moment, was Ricardo. The following days were suffocating. Sensationalist reports, opinions from experts, gossip channels, influencers making fun. His restaurants emptied, partners terminated contracts, invitations to events disappeared. Ricardo experienced something he had never felt: the real weight of being unjustly judged. But in the midst of all this, Anna and Lucas were always present. One day, Lucas appeared in the office with a shoebox full of drawings. "Sir, I made this to cheer you up." Ricardo opened the box, and his heart almost stopped. Inside were dozens of drawings of Ricardo's restaurant remodeled, with wide windows, light wooden tables, and at the top, a sign with the name Esperanza Restaurant. Ricardo put his hand to his face, emotional. "Lucas, this is beautiful. I drew what I think your restaurant will be like when everything gets better, the boy said proudly. Because it will get better, right? Ricardo swallowed hard. Yes, champ. And at that moment, he felt an idea being born inside him. A big idea. Crazy, risky, but totally transformative. The following week, Ricardo gathered the few team members who were still with him. Guys, we're going to turn this game around, he said firmly. The company will change. The way we work will change. But most importantly, the company's purpose will change. The employees looked at each other. From today, Ricardo continued, our restaurant chain will open training programs. We will hire young people from the outskirts. We will offer scholarships for gastronomy and architecture fields. And, he smiled, we will open a social institute. Institute? Asked Marina, his most experienced manager. Ricardo nodded. Lucas Institute, in honor of a boy who reminded me what it means to be human. No one said anything for a few seconds, and then applause. Not timid, real applause, strong, with tears. It was a new beginning. The following weeks were frantic. Ricardo gave a public interview for the first time after the scandal, but instead of aggression, he showed honesty. He talked about Fernando. He talked about the manipulations. He admitted past mistakes, mistakes of trusting too much, of not supervising processes. He said he would change everything and would pay the necessary price for the truth. The interview went viral, but not because of the scandal. It went viral because for the first time, someone from that elite was asking for forgiveness and showing humanity. It went viral because in the end, Ricardo said, if my fall serves to make me a better person, then let me fall as many times as necessary. And the entire country commented, this guy changed. You can see it in his eyes. Who is this Lucas from the story? The boy's story also began to circulate. Ricardo, however, never mentioned a last name. He protected Lucas from exposure, and this made people admire him even more. 2 months later, during a detailed analysis of the company's accounts, investigators discovered what Ricardo already suspected. Fernando had created shell companies, used fake documents, embezzled money, and used Ricardo's name to justify illegal operations. When confronted, Fernando tried to flee the country. He failed. He was arrested. And in an attempt to reduce his sentence, he confessed everything. Ricardo received a call from the responsible police chief. Mr. Mora, you are officially acquitted of all charges. Ricardo closed his eyes, breathing deeply. Thank you, he said, his voice choked. But one thing was still missing, telling Lucas the news. The same day, Ricardo rushed to the Vale Azul complex. He climbed the stairs, almost stumbling in his haste. He knocked on door 204. Lucas opened. Sir, the boy exclaimed, jumping onto his neck. I saw it on TV. I saw it. You didn't do anything wrong. Ricardo laughed, lifting him into the air. I didn't, champ, and now I'm free. Anna appeared right behind him, with tears in her eyes. Thank God, Ricardo, thank God. Ricardo hugged them both. He couldn't remember the last time he had hugged someone like that, without masks, without self-interest, without demands, just love. Simple, pure, real. A few weeks later, Ricardo took Lucas to a special place, a large empty plot of land on an important avenue in the city. The boy looked around, curious. What's going to be here, sir? Ricardo handed him a clipboard with a drawing. Lucas opened it, and his eyes filled with sparkle. It was an architectural project, based exactly on one of his drawings. Sir, this is my drawing. Yes, Lucas, Ricardo smiled. The Lucas Institute will be built here, a place where talented young people like you can learn drawing, architecture, gastronomy, music, everything they never had access to. Lucas put his hands to his mouth, emotional. Seriously? All this because of me?
"Because of you," Ricardo replied, kneeling before him. "Because you taught me something I had forgotten, that good people transform the world, even when they think they can't." Anna behind them cried silently. Ricardo continued, "And I want one more thing." Lucas blinked. "What?" "When you grow up, I want you to be the architect responsible for the expansion of the Institute, and for my new restaurant too." The boy's eyes widened. "Me? But I'm just a child." Ricardo held his shoulders. "You are a genius, Lucas, and now you have someone who believes in that." The boy hugged him so tightly that he almost knocked Ricardo to the ground. The camera slowly zooms in on a packed auditorium.
Center stage, a young man in a simple suit with a shy smile and bright eyes stands before a microphone. It's Lucas, now 20 years old. "I never imagined being here," he says nervously. "And I never imagined that someone like me could build something so grand." On the large screen behind him, an image of the Lucas Institute appears, now enormous, colorful, full of life. "But one day," the young man continues, "I met a man at the supermarket, a man who seemed to have everything, but who lacked the most important thing, someone who believed in him. And that day, I lent him 5 reais that I didn't even need to lend, just because my father used to say that good people help good people." The audience smiles. "And that man changed my life, and he let me change his too." Ricardo appears, seated in the front row, now with graying hair and a light, proud, emotional expression. Lucas concludes, "Uncle Ricardo, thank you for believing in me when no one else would." The two embrace on stage to applause. And this story moved you? Then leave it here in the comments. Good people help good people. This helps our channel grow and shows that you believe in the power of small gestures. Like, share, and subscribe for more transformative stories like this. Until the next chapter of our journey.